If you find yourself obsessed with controlling every little detail, here's what psychology tells us. It's probably not about being a high achiever. It's more like a really sophisticated defense mechanism against the fear of not being good enough. It's a strategy your brain developed because it learned, somewhere along the way, that unpredictability is a threat. Today, we're going to peel back the layers on why that need for control is so often just a mask for hidden anxiety. And it all kicks off with a question that I bet a lot of us know way too well.
Seriously, have you ever asked yourself this? You've got the ambition, you see the goal, but you're just stuck, waiting for all the stars to align perfectly. This question, it gets right to the very heart of the perfectionism trap, and we're about to unpack exactly what's going on inside your head. All right, first up, let's get into the psychology of delay. Because while perfectionism looks like this relentless drive for success, the truth is, those impossibly high standards can actually lead to doing nothing at all. It's a total paradox. This right here, this reframes the entire conversation, doesn't it? What the rest of the world might see as you being lazy or procrastinating is internally a completely different story. It's not a lack of caring. Oh no, it's the total opposite. You care so much that the fear of not being perfect creates this intense need for safety. And, what's the safest thing to do? A lot of the time, it's nothing. So here's the bottom line. Your brain has learned to equate starting something imperfectly with genuine risk. I'm talking about the potential for judgment, for failure, for not even meeting your own sky-high standards. It all feels like a legitimate threat. So inaction, it actually becomes the most logical, safest choice available. Now, this need for control, it isn't random. Not at all. It's actually a powerful emotional shield. It's a logical adaptation that your brain developed as a direct response to your past experiences. It makes perfect sense when you think about it. Psychology actually has a term for this: emotional efficiency. Now, this isn't about being apathetic or cold. It's your brain being a super smart energy manager. It makes a calculated decision to conserve its resources. I mean, if you can't influence the outcome, why waste precious emotional energy on it, right? Your brain just says, nope, not worth the trade-off. And this emotional efficiency thing, well, its roots often go way back. If you grew up in an environment where support felt inconsistent or maybe just flat out unreliable, your brain adapted. It learned that expecting other people to rescue you was a waste of time and energy, and that the only person you could truly count on was you. So self-reliance, it stopped being a preference, it became a core survival skill. But, and this is a huge but, this level of intense control and self-reliance, it comes at a very steep price. Because a part of your mind is always on, permanently alert. Perfectionism becomes this incredibly high-energy mental state. And frankly, it is absolutely exhausting. Just look at this energy budget. It tells the story perfectly. The vast, vast majority of a perfectionist's mental gas tank isn't being spent on the actual task. Nope, it's consumed by all the work before the work. The endless loops of planning, evaluating every choice, trying to predict every outcome, and worrying about every single possible variable. And that is the key takeaway for this section. By the time you're actually supposed to hit go, you're already running on fumes. So what everyone else labels as procrastination is, so often, just profound mental fatigue. You haven't avoided the work, your brain has already done it 10 times over in your head. Okay, so here's a paradox that I bet many of you will recognize. Despite all of this chaos going on inside, on the outside, you probably seem incredibly calm and put together, especially when the pressure's on. So how is that even possible? The answer is a really powerful skill called cognitive inhibition. It's the ability to create this tiny mental gap between a feeling and an action. So instead of just reacting on impulse, in that little gap, you get to pause, observe, evaluate the consequences, and then choose how you want to respond. It's like a mental superpower. And I really want to stress this part. This composure is not emotional distance or a lack of feeling. It's the exact opposite. It's a sign of tremendous internal restraint. It's a protective mechanism you developed because at some point, showing an uncontrolled or maybe a wrong emotion felt genuinely dangerous. So all of this, it brings us to the final and maybe the most crucial revelation. Your perfectionism isn't some deep character flaw. It's actually a brilliantly adapted skill set that you built to navigate a very challenging environment. Let's trace that origin story. It so often starts right here with a psychological process called parentification. This is basically when a child has to grow up way too fast. They're expected to manage heavy emotions and adult responsibilities, their own or someone else's, long before they're ready. They learn really early that their own needs have to come last. So you can see the path, right? It's a logical progression. It starts with that early responsibility that forces you into survival independence because who else can you rely on? From there, your brain learns the most important equation of all: control equals safety. And that pattern, once it's repeated over and over again, becomes an automatic, deeply wired survival skill.
This quote, it just says everything, doesn't it? This isn't who you are at your core. This is who you had to become. The strength, the control, the perfectionism, all of it was forged out of necessity, at a time when there was simply no other choice. So if any of this, or all of this, has felt uncomfortably accurate, I want you to really hold on to this idea. You are not broken. Your nervous system isn't flawed. It's simply adapted, brilliantly, to the pressure it was under. What you call perfectionism is a pattern of survival. That's all. And that leaves us with the most important question of all. This entire complex system was built to keep you safe in a world that felt unsafe. But what about now? What happens when the threat is gone and you are finally truly allowed to just rest without needing to be useful? Well, that's where the real work and the real healing begins.